This is the Weather Xtreme video for Saturday, October the 23rd. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and before we get to the weather, let's remind you of the Storm Alert Extreme coming up. That'll be coming up on November the 13th, Saturday. If you're interested in learning about storm spotting, be sure to join us down there. And besides that, after the event, you can get into the car show for free. Now, let's take a look at some Skycam imagery. A little quiet in Tuscaloosa, and I think it will be quiet for most of the day because, as I recall, I believe Alabama is playing in Knoxville. So the streets are quiet and probably will be for much of the day. Especially this evening when the game occurs. And just an absolutely beautiful shot as we look out over the Tennessee River at Decatur. We've got probably the last weekend of dry weather, so enjoy this warm October weather because it looks like this upcoming week is going to be wet, especially starting on Monday. High pressure at the surface and as well as a large ridge in the upper atmosphere is helping to keep us high and dry, but that's going to be changing thanks to that big low out there and front dragging through into the area, probably becoming stationary and giving us a good chance for rain on Monday, and then keeping us in the soup and the rain possibilities for much of the upcoming week. Temperatures ahead of that system, you can see the 70s just absolutely blasting northward all the way into southeastern Kansas there. So very, very warm in the nation's midsection. Temperatures in central Alabama ranging quite a lot. We've got 56 at Birmingham for one of the warmer spots, and then we got 39 at Gadsden. So quite a range in temperatures this morning. And the watch warning map is a little more active. We've got some winter weather advisories and some winter storm watches out in the central Rockies. And then we've got a severe thunderstorm watch box out there in Texas and some wind advisories as well. And as I say, we're expecting some wet weather this week, and it looks like probably a good 1/2 to 1 inch for most people, but it's been a while since we've seen any of that blue outlook on the QPF. Storm Prediction Center outlooking a large area for slight risk ahead of that big trough, extending from Iowa all the way down to practically South Texas. Gets down at least into the Corpus area, so just a big area for severe weather today. And then for day 2, that's Sunday, it approaches us, but I think we'll stay dry for the most part on Sunday, perhaps with some showers or some thunderstorms late Sunday into Sunday evening, but probably more like after midnight. And the tropics have become a bit more active. Richard finally beginning to move. Richard's just been meandering down there for quite some time. And the other 2 areas out in the Atlantic, nothing much going on. But here's Richard, still not more than a tropical storm and not expected to become, and they're more than a tropical storm. Yesterday, the Hurricane Center was looking at the possibility of it maybe becoming a marginal hurricane before reaching Belize, but looks like it's going to stay that way. And it looks like it could merge out into the southwest Gulf of Mexico, the Bay of Campeche, and if it does, that could be an interesting situation. And while Florida is still not out of the woods, so we'll be watching that carefully. All right, this is the 06Z GFS model run. And there's our surface high centered over the coast of North Carolina and South Carolina, and that's going to keep us dry today and keep us with just a few clouds. The high continues to move eastward, and that's allowing moisture to return on Sunday, especially just to our west, but I think that means also for us that we'll see more clouds, and especially clouds by late in the afternoon and evening. Here comes the little impulse coming out of that trough to our west on Monday, and that brings us an excellent chance for rain. It looks like it could be one of those. I don't think it'll be an all-day rain, but it certainly looks like we're going to get pretty good dousing of rain on Monday. The little shortwave moves up to New England, but notice the big one back out over the north-central United States. And what that does is that's going to create a very strong surface low. and drag a front down into the Mid-South area around in the vicinity of Memphis on Tuesday. But notice what happens to the flow. The ridge holds strong over the southwest Atlantic, and we end up in a southwesterly flow pattern, which means the front drags into our area on Wednesday and stays here. So that means Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and probably ending on Friday, we'll see the possibility of showers. The big low, the big trough, still up in Canada, but another impulse coming along through the central U.S. And again, that keeps the frontal position without moving much because, and it keeps it centered over us because of the flow aloft. That Friday, finally, that trough moves through, according to the GFS, and what that does is, finally on Friday, allows everything to sweep on by as surface high pressure fills in behind it. So that clears the way for a beautiful Friday. I think we'll be clearing out on Friday. Also paves the way for another beautiful Saturday. So not implying that this weekend is our last dry weekend, but certainly our last dry couple of days for several days. And then finally on the 31st, or Halloween, looks like another round of a chance for showers or thunderstorms. And then out into the voodoo country, the 4th of November, here comes a really strong short wave coming across with a closed low coming across the central U.S., and that could spell another round of some wet weather. Of course, we can use it. And then finally around the 7th, the GFS is suggesting that we should be dry. Again, remind you about the Storm Alert Extreme coming up on November the 13th. That's 9 to 2, so be sure to come out if you're interested in severe weather and storm spotting. I'm Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in to the Weather Extreme video. Should have the next one posted by around 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. In the meantime, Godspeed.
Each day there are new stories to tell about the people who live here and the place we call home.
All of the faces that I see, all of the places close to me, they're all part of all the best things about home.
Sharing your stories on ABC 3340, Alabama's news leader.